Welcome to Discovery, and welcome back to another series of Discovery. We had a few months break to get things all sorted, but you know what? Discovery is back. Discovery is back. There is a few albums that I need to talk to you guys about that may be off your radar. You know what? Bandcamp Discovery was a failure. I know the video got 1,000 views, over 1,000 views, but to me, it was a failure because I tried to do the second episode and it kind of failed. I'm not doing Band Discovery, I'm doing Discovery again. And welcome to the first episode, I think the 4th series now? Fuck. You know what? We are changing the format again. We're not dissecting the singles anymore. I'm going to tell you all the albums I've checked out over the last maybe month and what bands that may interest you. So first of all, we're going to Tomorrow's Rain and their album Hollow. This was released in the first week of September and it's through AOP Records. Now this album is a very interesting album overall. They incorporate elements of death metal. Now his vocals at times are a little bit straining, but they really work. I really love the slow parts throughout some of these songs, and In the Mouth of Madness has probably got one of the best guitar solos of the year in my opinion. It's a very hard and it's very energetic album that would just punch at the roof of your mouth. Because some of these songs are pretty piercing in tone. The production is okay. One negative is the overall vocal tone. Although this may be one of my favorite albums of September, I just feel that the vocals at times does let this album down. But is this a failure? No, because the instrumentals are fucking fire on this. The elements of death metal, along with elements of doom metal, it creates sort of this death doom atmosphere that you get throughout some of these songs. Kick off the album is Trees, which is a very fiercing and in-your-face song, but the album goes through flows and it transitions very well. And what I love about Tomorrow Rain is what they do with the intricate guitars throughout this album. And this is what really makes this album quite special and gets quite addictive. At times they incorporate atmosphere, and this is what you want. This album runs about 52 minutes. There are 8 songs on this album, and 52 minutes goes pretty fast. So I would recommend you check out Tomorrow's Rain and the album Hollow. You can get that through AOP Records. Right now, it's indeed going to be my top 10 albums of September. I will give this a solid 8 out of 10. So the next band, they released an album back on the 28th of August and it's called Mortal by the band Necrot. Necrot are a very intense band in my opinion, but they incorporate elements of doom metal, making it quite doomy, but it's like a very slow death metal. They incorporate old school death metal along with the new age death metal. Production is actually pretty good on this album. Some really killer songs like Your Howl along with Malevolent Intention. To end off the album is like a 7-minute song called Mortal. This album really flows. Some really nice intricacy guitar work throughout this album, and overall the drums pack a punch. I really enjoy this album. I think this is definitely one of the best albums of August, even though I didn't add it on my list. But I discovered this album after I made my top albums of August, and no doubt Necrot is a band to be reckoned with because they are an absolutely fantastic band, really giving some nostalgia feels for some death metal fans out there. So I loved it. Really loved the strong blast beats throughout some of these songs, along with the really nice chord progression throughout Malevolent Intention. It's actually a really good album to sink your teeth in. So if you haven't checked out Necrot and the album Mortal, go fucking check it out because I'm going to give this a 8.5 out of 10. So, Fit for a King released a new album called The Path. So The Path is a very interesting alternative sound by Fit for a King. They incorporate elements of metalcore along with alternative metal as well. So what I really enjoy about this album is how different this sounds from Fit for a King. Like, you have their previous albums like Dark Skies and Death Grip, which was much more heavier version of Fit for a King. But you know what? There are some really tight and there are some really cohesive songs on this album. You got Breaking the Mirror, which has one of the best guitar solos off the album, along with Annihilation, which is sort of a throwback to Crush by Parkway Drive, except, yeah, Annihilation is a complete fucking rip-off of Crush. But Annihilation fucking kills as well, so that's a great fucking song. Overall, some really good songs. You got sort of a ballad like Lock in My Head, which was okay. They incorporate much more cleaner vocals on this album. In my head. Which is okay. Something I don't get with the metalcore vocals. These vocals are okay. To end off the album is Vendetta, which is hard hitting as well. The production is very good. I love the snare tone, really love the grittiness of the guitar, and his vocals are intense as anything. Some really nice cohesive moments on this album. Some really nice transitions. God of Fire featuring Rio from Crystal Lake. Very disappointing song. Very fucking disappointing song. I was very underwhelmed listening to this song, incorporating electronic elements, something out of like Nine Inch Nails, you could say. But overall, Fit for a King, The Path, I will give this a 6.5 out of 10. Time to check out another death metal band recorded in Skeletal Remains and their album The Attunement of Chaos. This album is full on heavy. It's a heavy fucking album with some incredible technicality, get some amazing guitar riffs, get some awesome solos as well. This album really flows very well with some really strong elements of old school death metal, along with that new age sort of death metal we are getting nowadays. Some awesome songs like Congregation of Flesh, which has amazing riff on it, and his vocals are intense. Some really awesome songs like even The Stench of Paradise Burning, the bonus song, which is a cover. An awesome free-flowing album as well. This album goes around 48 minutes with 11 songs, but it doesn't feel like 48 minutes. Very quick album, and to see one of my favorite albums of September. It's a really intense record with some incredible dynamic moments. Take It Torturous Ways to Obliteration, which has some really melodic moments. But then you got Unfurling the Casket, which is quite an epic song. But I love the guitar tone on this album. For Skeletal Remains, I will give this an 8.5 out of 10. So now we go on to the folky black metal band Fintroll and their album Verderisvad, is that how you pronounce it? But this album is a really fun fucking album. It's folky black metal, incorporating elements of that folk metal that we love in black metal. It's quite atmospheric and really good songs like track 3 Omfolk, which is a really awesome song, along with Mask. I do love how this album is quite free flowing, it's quite fun as well. This is quite an energetic album. His vocals are intense at times. Love his dynamic screams throughout this album. It just feels like you're at times at a carnival, if you get what I mean, especially with those folky elements. I do really enjoy the guitar tone on this, not to mention the drumming as well. The production is very good on this album, especially for black metal. So really nice moments. I actually really enjoyed this album by Fintroll. For Fintroll, I will give this probably an 8 out of 10. Okay, so next up is a band called Jupiterian and their album Protosapien from Transcending Obscurity Records. This was released early last week, and I'll tell you what, this is a very awesome album, incorporating elements of doom metal along with sludge metal. It's a very slimy sort of album. Love his vocals. His vocals are very intense in tone. This album is free flowing as well, so like Mere Humans is intense as anything. Okay, so after that racket, let's get on with this fucking album. So, Jupiterian. It's a really free-flowing album. It's sludgy, it's doomy as well. Amazing dynamic vocals, love his harsh and aggressive vocals, and his growls are quite demonic a tone. Really fits the atmosphere on this album. This is a very atmospheric album as well, don't get me wrong, but some of these songs do lack slightly in my opinion. It's a good album, but it's not a great album, if you get what I mean. At times it does sound quite generic. It's in that sludgy, doomy genre. It's quite interesting in tone. Earthling Bloodline is a great way to finish off the album. Stretching around about 36 minutes, 6 songs. They could have incorporated a few more other songs to really expand the album a bit more, but Jupiterian did a pretty good job. So Protosabian, I will give this a 7.5 out of 10. So finally, to end off Discovery this week is Carnation and the album Where Death Lies. This album really took me by surprise. I feel this is a better album than Skeletal Remains, nearly as good as Necrot in my opinion. Some really awesome moments on this album, nice guitar moments, nice drumming as well. Sepulchre of Alteration, that's really fantastic, intense fucking song, love his vocals. And Where Death Lies is a good song as well. But Napalm Ascension and In Chasm Abysmal is an epic song which stretches around about 7 minutes, and he incorporates cleaner vocals on In Chasm's Abysmal. I just love how Necrot and Carnation actually end albums with some really long songs, and this is a great long song for death metal. Absolutely love the time signatures, love the transition. They incorporate elements of prog on this album. Some really good moments as well. His vocals intense and grimy at times. Love his aggression. But overall, Carnation, Where Death Lies, is going to be one of my favorite albums of September. I love the grittiness of the tone, really enjoy the overall elements of surprise you're getting on this album. So for Carnation, Where Death Lies, a 9 out of 10. So guys, that's where I leave you with Discovery. I hope you did enjoy. Join me next week or maybe in 2 weeks as we check out some more albums I discovered. And yeah, so Band Discovery won't be returning. It seemed it was a kind of a fail. I tried to film Band Discovery again, and I just feel that in Band Discovery, you have to arrange beforehand. Like you have to listen to the albums before to sort of react to the albums on camera, if you get what I mean. So basically, it's sort of a fake reaction. So Band Discovery didn't go to plan. We're going back to Discovery, and I will see you in the next one.